Hey everyone, number 43 on my list of 100 greatest songs of all time is A Rainy Night in Soho by the Pogues. Um, the real magic in this song is the poetry, the lyrics by Shane MacGowan, and unfortunately his, maybe less so now, but when he was alive, and like I got to see him live and he was a bit worse for wear and it was kind of sad, but like we kind of overlooked it as, we always thought it was funny or something, that like, oh, how is he not dead, or like, we're all probably guilty of it. And the idea of like, we lost somewhere along the line, we lost the fact that this man was like a poet, this like, he was obviously a songwriter by trade, but he was a poet by heart, and when he wrote lyrics about whatever it might be, but like when he wrote lyrics for someone, so a loved one, and his partner at the time, or whoever it was, his wife, and that, um they could be you would be left feeling a bit useless if you tried to write a song for a loved one after listening to Shane MacGowan. And his delivery is neither here nor there when it comes to what he's actually saying. Obviously, his delivery works for him and it works for the Pogues. I saw him with the Popes in the Olympia Theatre when, I don't know, 2000 maybe, around that. And like, I'm not like I don't know a huge amount about the Pogues. I know, I'm kind of one of those people who knows the best of, but A Rainy Night in Soho was just this, it's amazing, right? He doesn't, or the band don't move away from C, F, G, all major chords. They do have this little run which is played on let me put this down to the ground. It's played on it sounds like a tin whistle, but I'm sure there's some backing on it, but it's and then goes to so you get the picture, and it stays in that for the whole song, because I think, well, I can only guess, but I would say that's the same thing as guessing, isn't it? Saying that. But when you have something lyrically that good, I don't think you need to complicate it with all the bells and whistles and everything else you can throw at it. I don't think there's any need. I think what became of it was the the music, or the chord progression was this foundation, and then their lyrics were the rest of it, And one of my favorite lyrics of all time is in this, but I'll read them from the start. I've been loving you a long time, down all the years, down all the days, and I've cried for all your troubles, smiled at your funny little ways. We watched our friends grow up together, and we saw them as they fell. Some of them fell into heaven, some of them fell into hell. I took shelter from a shower, and I stepped into your arms. On a rainy night in Soho, the wind was whistling all its charms. I sang you all my sorrows, you told me all your joys. Whatever happened to that old song, to all those little girls and boys? Sometimes I'd wake up in the morning, the ginger lady by my bed. Covered in a cloak of silence, I'd hear you talking in my head. I'm not singing for the future, I'm not dreaming of the past. I'm not talking of the first times, I never think about the last. And this last verse is the best, one of the best verses I have ever heard. Now the song is nearly over, we may never find out what it means. Still there's a light I hold before me, you're the measure of my dreams, the measure of my dreams. I don't know, I don't know how you get there, to that point of being able to basically, call someone the measure of your dreams is like this. It kind of feels otherworldly or something, that it shouldn't exist. I talked about Tracy Chapman on the last one, and about like how her song Fast Car seemed like something that had always been there. this is that line or that verse at the end of the song seems like something that's been etched in stone, like that's, that they found in the caves, written on the walls or something. There's something so like big about it. Like when when you all right, here's an example, right? So if you most of us have read Shakespeare in school, and maybe for fun. I don't know who do that, but that's not me having to dig it at all, William Shakespeare. But when you read a piece of Shakespeare's writing, okay, and it might be the to be or not to be, idea, and you read it as something that's old text and you don't understand it, but when it's broken down by a teacher or by one of those books that has, the modern day meanings of what he's saying on the side, it illuminates everything. And it's like, oh yeah, he was like genuinely a genius at what he was doing with words and ideas. And that's what I think about that. Like, I think the whole song, by the way, is incredible writing, like I said already. But that verse and that line, "You're the measure of my dreams," is like, I don't it doesn't compute as a piece of writing for me. And so you might be sitting there going, "What a pretentious load of waffle," and that's okay too, because it's all part of it. But when he sings that, it's so hard hitting. And then I remember watching Nick Cave perform it at Shane MacGowan's funeral, and again you get like, it just, because it was at Shane MacGowan's funeral and what it stood for. All of a sudden, what he was singing meant such a different thing. Like, it meant that you were now looking at the party who it was being said about was Shane MacGowan. He wasn't the person who wrote it. So, speaking of, you could be the measure of someone's dreams in how they want to get to your ability in your craft or your field, or maybe he's singing about the loved one, like that his dreams are measured by. And it could mean so many things, but I don't really know if I have one singular idea what it means. I think it means a lot of different things in different moments, if that makes sense. And I think when I go back to it and I hear the song again, it depends where I am in life, or depends what I'm doing, or am I enjoying life, or am I in a bit of a low, or um, you know, it means more if you're in love, like, um, it probably means more if your career trajectory is going exactly where you wanted to go, and all of these things. But maybe it means more if you're in, like it says something about there, if you're in hell, or if you're in the gutter, or all this kind of, you're really struggling in life, it means something else. I don't know, but it's a piece of writing that I'll never really get my head around. But sometimes that's all right too. I mean, you don't have to understand everything, do you? But you can definitely have your own ideas what it's about. So yeah, A Rainy Night in Soho, just a beauty. So yeah, thanks very much.